Okay, fourth try. Hello everyone and welcome to round 3 of the Gentry finale. We have Frederik Mortier on a black-green Delirium decklist. Bob Jacobs. Frederik Mortier had a bye in round 1 because he was the leader in our local leaderboard. Bob Jacobs is part of Team Wrecking Ball, a group of more experienced competitive players that have taken into liking our little format. With us here is Sander de Quick.
Hello.
The other Gentry fan we have here. Sander and me together sort of started the league that was the breeding ground for this format, and we are on their way.
So, as you can see, Bob is opening with a Freeman Inspector. Very good one drop here. Gets you a clue and is a 1-2 body. Playing against Frederik, who I think opened with a Vessel of Nascency. That's the one that puts some cards in your graveyard, so he's probably under the Delirium game plan here. Bob's looking to be on black-white.
So we have the deck list here. Bob is indeed on the black-white Planeswalker control deck. Yeah.
So, cracking the clue at end step. Attacking with the Freeman Inspector for the value 1 damage. Life totals do not seem to be on the screen, so we should try and get that fixed. And he's playing a Read the Bones. So Read the Bones, also a very good card. Sad to see that one rotate out. I've been playing with it since there was, and it's a very good card. Lots of value. Frederik, in the meantime, missing a land drop. Potentially 2, depending on whether he started or not. So this is not looking very good for the black-green Delirium deck.
So, having a little look at the deck lists, we see that this is almost a rematch of the match we saw in the previous round. There are some small differences. We see a Tooth Collector for Frederik, and other than that, he's also playing Dark Petition as one of his rares for extra flexibility, which is a very interesting choice.
It's a choice I agree with. I really like Dark Petition. Back when I still played the control deck, I always played the Dark Petition because it's just too good to be able to get one of your other rares. It's just more consistency with the rares, which is something the Gentry decks don't really have, since you're only playing 4 unique rares.
Yeah, it's something I considered as well, but I would always play it with a Seasons Past because it creates a loop.
Yeah, that it does.
So the card that got taken was Autumnal Gloom, which is an extremely hard card to deal with by conventional means. It's hard to kill by blocking. It has hexproof, so you can't just play removal on it. And I'm not sure.
That's the complete disregard, which took the Autumnal Gloom. It's a Thoughtseize for 3 or more, I think.
Transgress the Mind.
Transgress the Mind, yeah, that's the one.
So that's what ate the Autumnal Gloom.
And I think, is he resolving another one, or is he just... Oh, he's revealing from the Vessel of Nascency, okay.
Yeah.
Alright. So Frederik found the swamp, but is still only on 2 lands, so getting beat down by a pair of Cluzos.
Yeah. We did see Liliana the Last Hope in Frederik's hand of the Vessel.
Yeah, so if he hits the second swamp, he can start deploying her.
Fortunately, the stat reduction from the plus ability...
It's not going to kill the Freeman Inspectors, but it's going to keep him off his back for a while.
Yeah.
So, dressing again. Yeah, takes the Liliana. This is not looking very good.
So Bob has a very counter-control focused main deck, it seems. With playing main deck Transgress the Minds and the rest, cards that don't do that much against the really focused aggro decks in this format. against black-green aristocrats, one of the consensus top 3 decks in the formats. It's a dead card in game 1. I think there's 5 cards in the main deck that you can hit.
It's usually that card, but when it does hit, it usually hits the Ulvenwald Mysteries, which is a card you really don't want to see when you're a control deck playing against the aristocrats.
Fair enough.
It's way too strong against you. I honestly think the Resses are good against aristocrats, even though they only play like 5 targets, just because the ones you hit are so important.
In the meantime, we have a Tooth Collector that hit the board and got taken care of with a Deadweight.
Yeah.
And a Magnifying Glass. One of the favorite cards in the control decks here. It provides you with mana, it gives you card draw in the extreme late game. It does so much for you.
I think Yella from the last round played the Tapestry of the Ancients. In his list of the, I know at some point in his black-white list he played Tapestry of the Ancients as a way of drawing cards. That also works. Maybe Magnifying Glass is better because it also provides mana.
Yeah. So we have Flame Tendrils taking care of the 2 inspectors.
Yeah.
And we're on a clear board. This greatly favors Bob here. He's the one who should be able to answer threats 1 for 1 while keeping his hand full. Frederik more relying on getting Delirium and having his threats become more relevant, but most of them don't actually become more relevant in a way that they're harder to deal with. The only one being Autumnal Gloom. And
even for Autumnal Gloom, Bob has so big of an advantage with the mana that he can deal with the threats Frederik can deploy and then still investigate with the Magnifying Glass, so it's really favorite for Bob here. So Bob does exactly that, investigate and draw. Gets another land, investigates again. Yep, looking for answers. Or a way to actually win this game, since at the moment he's not actually winning. Arl. Yeah, Arl with Dryad. It's the 1/1 that gets +2/+2 as long as you have Delirium. Yeah.
They could see it now.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Okay, so a Stasis Snare to care of the first Dryad.
It's the promo Stasis Snare.
It's a game day promo. Oh, and there's an Obnixilis. Obnixilis just takes care of the Dryad. Now Bob has a Planeswalker on an empty board, so that tends to be a fun position to be in as a control player.
Yeah, Bob firmly in control. It's also sort of to be expected from this kind of deck. If you can get to a point where you have more mana and more cards in hand, winning becomes a formality for a lot of these decks.
Yeah. Especially when you're at such a high life total still.
Yeah, we have been caught saying this a few times already and then seen huge swing arounds in the game, so
but I think that's actually one of the beautiful things of this format, that a lot of the decks can come back from seemingly bad positions.
Yeah. So that's the card that Bob played is the promo Evolving Wilds.
The Tarkir Dragon Fury promo, if I'm not mistaken. That would be the Dragons of Tarkir one. Next to Modern Monsters, yeah.
There we go.
No, that's not the promo one.
No, see? Not sure which expansions
it's
the
it's
promo one
a
has.
promo, but
No.
Nope. That's Battle, that's Commander.
Irrelevant.
Whatever.
It's
Doesn't
an
matter.
Evolving Wilds.
It's an Evolving Wilds. In the meantime, Fletcher deployed another Gnarlwood Dryad. So that's the third one. So yeah. Obnixilis is at 3. So he could potentially trade in his Planeswalker to deal with the Dryad.
This is all happening at the end of Frederik's turn, I suppose. Yeah. Bob untapping. And
He
has tons
should
of
have plenty
cards
of
and
answers in hand.
options.
Transgress the Mind. Looking to see if there's any threats left and take them away before they hit the board. But as you can see, Frederik only has a murder and a deadweight, both of which are very bad at dealing with a planeswalker.
So what did he choose to discard?
One of the two murders.
Ah, there
were two murders and a deadweight. He just chose to exile one of the murders. And Bob just blessing up Nixilis, playing Read the Bones, just generating tons and tons of card advantage here.
He's still. There we go.
And there's the removal spell for the Dryad.
I was about to say he still hasn't found a threat, an answer to the threat though. So
even without an answer to the threat, Frederik would have done 3 damage to either him or his planeswalker. Wouldn't have killed the planeswalker. Wouldn't have put him in a lethal range for anything.
yeah.
I don't think Bob was in any danger of not dealing with it there.
But now the Autumnal Gloom hits the board, and I do think he has Delirium.
He has Delirium.
So he now has a 4/4 trample hexproof beater.
So that can be pretty dangerous. I'm not sure if there's any edict effects.
I don't think they're.
Bob's deck list. Yeah. So here, Bob can use Blessed Alliance to deal with it. So he might have an out here to deal with it, Autumnal Gloom. Even if he doesn't, he's probably gonna find something to deal with it.
So he plus the Obnixilis. It's now at 5 loyalty, so
can be killed by the 4/4 and discards it end of turn. So Bob could also deal with it just by playing double Flame Tendrils, since Flame Tendrils doesn't really have value anymore in this particular game. But he has a ton of open mana, can make a clue.
I'd be careful with the Flame Tendrils because Frederik has Ishkana in his graveyard already.
Oh, yeah, okay, then Flame Tendrils might not be the best.
Grapple with the past, like seeing that card.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Having you might want to hold on to, if you have any Tendrils, you might want to hold on to it, just to get the Graph Widow. Yeah, she's on the top. Okay, so Dark Petition. He's gonna go look for something here. It's gonna need to be a good one.
And he probably has Spell Mastery as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So, it looks like he's gonna get Autumnal Gloom. Yeah. So, he gets 3 black mana. Can potentially still cast it. Yeah, and now if he actually casts it and transforms, and Bob does not have the answer in the form of Blessed Alliance, then double Flame Tendrils becomes pretty hard here.
Will become the only possible answer he has.
Or double Blessed Alliance also works, but...
So the Autumnal Gloom changes into Ancient of the Equinox.
Yeah, at the end step.
That doesn't work.
No, it's not gonna... Oh, actually
yeah,
it is gonna work.
God,
that's the wrong one. In the meantime, Frederik transformed the second one, so we're in the end step here. We're in Bob's turn.
So I can't actually show you the Ancient of the Equinox.
But it's a 4/4 trample hexproof. That's literally everything that's about it. So Frederik passed the turn, and Bob playing Sorin Grim Nemesis, which is very, very powerful. And so the best Bob can do here is 6 probably with the plus. Can do the insane Reveal Emrakul will kill you, but still a lot of value. Frederik did not attack the previous turn with the Autumnal Gloom, so it seems like he's playing around the potential Blessed Alliances.
I don't think that's a... I don't think he has the luxury of trying to play around it like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Alright, so he seems to have it in hand. He's gonna deal with one of them. Yeah, so there's the Blessed Alliance.
So he paid 4, meaning he probably gained 4 life.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, there we go.
There would be no reason to untap creatures since he doesn't have any.
Yeah, Blessed Alliance, one of the more impactful cards that came out of
Eldritch Moon.
Eldritch Moon.
Yeah.
Together with some of the Delirium.
And literally the
creatures.
entire Emerge mechanic.
Yeah, well.
I love that deck. I'm surprised to not see a lot of people playing it today. But I believe it's actually, post-rotation, going to be a great deck. Anyway, so Bob plussing both his planeswalkers here. Just gaining a lot of advantage.
Gaining some life, losing some life, drawing too many cards.
You're just having an insane hand.
He still needs an answer to
The second Equinox. Yeah. But, I mean, the amount of card advantage he's generating, he's bound to either find another Blessed Alliance or something like that. A blocker to buy him some time.
Blockers don't do that much since it also has trample.
True, but buying some time allows you to use Sorin for more card advantage, more life gain, and then once Sorin gets big enough or Omnixilis ultimates, you're pretty much in the game. Like both those Planeswalkers ultimates are game winning, so.
Well, not that much the Sorins because of Fleeing Tendrils in the deck.
Yeah, that's true. That's true actually.
So a funny thing in this matchup is we saw in the previous match already Yala choosing not to take his ultimate because it was
because it's so
just
weak to
much
tendrils.
better to just keep it on the board and use it as a potential removal and card draw engine.
True. And can it actually hit the face as well? The -X? I don't think so, right?
No.
Okay.
So the Ishkana was returned. I didn't see how exactly. I assume grapple with the past, but I don't see it in the graveyard right now.
It probably also removed, it probably also milled the Fleeing Tendrils and was put on top of it. So there's an Ishkana. That's just 3/5 on 4 spiders. 3 spiders.
Yeah.
So Bob going to need to have the tendrils here. Otherwise,
I think I already saw. Some in his hand.
After the amount of cards he's been drawing, he should have one in hand. But
let's actually turn the camera and show that there's 2 of us here now. There we go. So, Sander, I'm Niels.
I have a nameplate.
Sander thinks
I am
he's
also the head
special.
judge of this event.
Yes. I think I heard a judge call.
I have floor judges to do that for me.
Minions! Okay, back to the game.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening.
No, absolutely nothing. Well, there's a second magnifying glass.
Wow.
I haven't seen that one before. And there's a Gideon as well. That is... yeah.
This is a bit obscene.
Uh-huh. That's the wrong
Gideon.
That's not legal. But he's so probably just gonna make a token. Yeah.
So the incremental advantage that Bob is getting at this point is so huge.
Yeah, Bob's advantage is huge, but Frederik can just win if he activates Ishkana 4 times and Bob doesn't gain any more life. So Bob does need to clear the spiders.
Actually, Frederik doesn't have enough mana to activate the ability at this point.
Yeah, okay, and there's the Flying Tendrils anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game should be over. I know you've said that a lot of times where it wasn't over, but... yeah, and then Angelic Purge to exile Ishkana. She's never coming back. She's just gone. And there's the token.
So that's a 2/2 token from the Gideon.
Yeah, the 2/2 Knight. So now Frederik struggling to find a way to win this game.
So I think Omnixilis.
I think his ultimate is whenever you draw a card, opponent loses 2 life. Whenever any player draws a card, you lose 2 life, and you give the emblem to an opponent. Yeah,
Exactly.
Right, so that way takes care of the token. So now the Ancient Equinox can either kill Gideon or take one of the other planeswalkers down a notch. And then there's the Moldgraph Scavenger, the 3/4 when it has Delirium. So yeah, so decides to use the Equinox to take care of Gideon, which is pretty good since now there's no more blockers to deal with. The Scavenger is probably going to die to Sorin or any removal spell, basically.
So chat is saying Bob's Inspector should be exiled. I'm pretty sure it actually is.
Yeah, there's
one in exile.
There should be 2 in exile, and I think there's 2 in exile. I don't think Bob played the 3rd one, which was... I didn't see how it was dealt with.
Oblixilus Emblem.
Is he gonna go for the emblem?
There's some discussion between the players.
Probably.
So apparently some misunderstanding on the exact number. It was on 7 and...
yeah, so it should go down to 4 now. Yeah, I think Bob accidentally placed it on 8 rather than 7.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering why is it down only 2, but it's okay now. And oh yeah, 10 was the 3rd one? Alright, so should the 3rd Inspector become relevant, we'll step in. For now I think we'll just let this game end. Since I don't think Bob has any relevance to that.
I don't think... I'm pretty sure Bob doesn't have any recursion in his deck.
Alright, and then we'll handle the appropriate penalties in between the games.
So that's the Blessed Alliance.
Yeah, so that takes care of the 2nd Ancient Equinox, and that should probably be the end of this game. And the Vessel of Nascency brings another land for Frederik, who's staring down the gun of the loaded barrel of a gun here, just waiting to be killed, I think.
Yeah, just milking some camera time.
Yeah, I'm no stranger to that myself, so I can't blame him. And there's one of the uncommon dual lands, or at least uncommon for now.
So for those of you interested in the format, as Kaladesh becomes legal, this cycle of lands and the cycle from Oath will become commons. This is in accordance with the Planeswalker deck's reprint policy from Wizards of the Coast, where they are going to put these in standard at a common rarity to protect balance and parity in fixing options. We're going to errata all of them into the format straight away.
Alright, so Bob revealed the Flaying Tendrils from Sorin, dealt 3 damage to Frederik. Frederik is at 5 now. And yeah, just checking the Frederik just checking, trying to find out if there's any way he can still come back from this. Scavenger to draw.
We also got the message that this random behind me here just won his 3rd match, which means he's in the top 8. And for those of you who don't know him, that's Jalek Heeselink, who
the reigning champ,
who won both previous editions of this tournament.
And is undefeated for now. But yeah. Yeah, see, the thing is, if I were playing, he would never win, but you know. So
challenge accepted. Next time you're not a judge at this event.
I made a grandiose mistake. So Frederik plays another land, but I honestly can't see it. Yeah, Frederik scoops them up.
Alright.
So that's the end of game 1. Alright, so I'm gonna go and give the appropriate penalties here.
Yep. So Bob wins the first game in this match in round 3. Let's have a look at the sideboards. I will turn myself a little bit so the players can't hear me so well. Bob clearly is in the same planning team as Yala was in the previous round. He also has 4 Token Freeblades in the sideboard, 1 Iron Rites Cleansing, 1 Deadweight, 2 Angelic Purge, 2 Succumb to Temptation, 4 Felidar Cup, and 1 Certain Death. So he has quite a bit of extra removal to bring in, some that exiles, which turned out to be pretty irrelevant so far for Frederik in the sideboard, we have 3 Duress, 1 Read the Bones, 1 Deadweight, 2 Conifer Striders, 2 Caustic Caterpillars, 1 Oblivion Strike, 2 Aerial Volley, 1 Plummet, 1 Reef Soul, and 1 Pulse of Murasa. Expecting him to bring in definitely the Duresses. Read the Bones, and probably the Pulse of Murasa in favor of 3 Deadweights, and I think I would take out the Tooth Collectors as well, because they are pretty irrelevant. Oh, he has Murder as well, which has barely any relevant targets. I would leave in the Flaying Tendrils because they answer Sorin Ultimate and a bunch of Inspectors, which after a while become problematic as well. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly they do. I have the feeling that Frederik has more to take out than he really wants to put in. I'm not sure what the Conifer Strider is. There we go. So 5-1 Hexproof. 5-1 Hexproof is it's a pretty good card against the control deck. So that one's definitely coming in, and then he has enough cards to throw at a control matchup. So an interesting inclusion in his sideboard, actually. Interested to see how and if this will change the dynamic of the matchup. It's 5 rounds. We have 26 players here. So 2 more rounds after this one. Okay, both players are ready for game 2. Sideboards have been entered, and let's see what they have planned for each other. Sander has left me, so I'm back on my own. All the focus back on my ugly mug. Oh no, he's back.
Yep, I'm back.
There we go.
Just had a floor judge who wanted to confirm some rulings with me he made. So nothing too interesting. Nothing chat needs to know.
Right. Going to make a minor adjustment to the camera.
So, did you answer the question in chat?
Yes.
Okay. Right, so both players checking out their opening 7s. Yep, Bob going for the mulligan. Frederik looks to be keeping. I think both sideboard, I assume Bob is quite favored.
Well, the card on screen is what Fresh is bringing in.
Yeah, so another answer, but what does Bob have to bring in against the Hexproof? Doesn't really have anything.
Nope.
Yeah,
So
okay, that can be
alliances,
problematic.
Are going to be very instrumental for Bob.
I assume, well, I hope Bob didn't board out the Tendrils. I don't think that's a correct answer to board out Tendrils against Delirium.
No.
So it kills the Dryads if before Delirium, and after it kills the Ishkana Spiders.
Yeah. Plus the double tendrils is one of the answers you have against flipped on the transformed excuse me,
autumnal
autumnal
glooms.
glooms.
And also I think Bob, who's a member of Team Wrecking Ball with Tom, knows about the sideboard options for Delirium and is probably aware that this card could be coming in.
I don't know, I've never seen anyone putting this in their sideboard so far.
I ran it.
Yeah?
Yeah, back when mono green Stompy was a thing in the format.
Normal people usually don't.
Hey man, that card wins games. So I hope this card is gonna win a game now, so I can, so my words can be proven. Alright, so 5 lands and a murder, and the murder gets taken away.
Well,
This could turn out very bad for Bob.
so
Draw-
Bob Mulligan.
Yeah, Bob Mulligan to 6 and then kept. And then kept on top, I think. And the draw seems to be Transgress the Mind. Yeah. So that's pretty good draw. Oh, pretty correct choice to leave that one on top in this situation. So
Well, you still run the risk of your opponent going Nullwood Riot, Moldgraf, Scavenger, sack Vessel of Nascency, get Delirium,
Yeah.
beat you for 7.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a big risk. True.
I mean, this is a
But
mid-range deck.
you
that
have
can
you have
do
the murder in
stuff.
your opening hand. So if you have the murder in your opening hand, and then the top deck, and then on top you see the Transgress the Mind, I think it's pretty okay. Yeah, okay. Transgress hits Kalitas, which is great. Probably the best. Yeah, right, so Frederik's hand doesn't have any more actual gas. So he has a Vessel to activate Delirium, a Duress to attack Bob's hand. And takes the Retabos, not the Kalitas. So that's an interesting choice. Assume that would be because Frederik found another Read the Bones. Goes to 18.
Yeah, so we
Yeah,
assume
that's-
he drew some extra removal. Or he
Yeah.
just knows that his deck
Yeah.
is packed full of removal.
Yeah, it's fine. It's actually, it's true. That's probably the better choice in retrospect. So Frederik drawing 2 cards. It looks like we need another Read the Bones. Yeah, it's another one. So Bob playing a land, passing a turn. So if he has the murder, that would be the perfect answer for Kalitas if he were to come down.
Is Kalitas a he or a she?
It's a he.
Okay. They didn't just assume it's gender, right? Their gender. So.
Well, their identified gender I have no idea, but pretty sure they're a physical male.
We should not have the face cams at times like this, but okay. Back to the game. We have a second Read the Bones to sculpt Frederik's hand
Yeah,
and a
And a Vessel.
Vessel of Nascency.
which is gonna allow him to dig even deeper, get some more Delirium.
The thing is, he hasn't been able to put pressure on Bob. Bob has
Yeah.
had the time to develop his board, draw into some stuff.
That is true. But Bob had a very bad starting position with only lands in hand, so he does have a lot of work to actually get into a position where he can easily answer the threats that Frederik can bring. Especially considering what Frederik brought in from the sideboard. Could be very interesting.
So what did he take there?
I didn't see it. I think it was the one that was upside down. It looks like a gloom. And to be honest, I haven't played the deck enough, the Black Green Delirium deck, to know all the cards on site. But it looks to be a gloom. Yeah.
So this is where I would want my soundboard operational to have some crickets.
Alright, so another Duress, taking the Descent upon the Sinful, leaving Bob again with a handful of lands.
So the Taurus taking the descent is a pretty big deal, as that is
Another answer to the hexproof threats Frederik is bringing. No? D-E-S-C-E-N-D. There we go.
so this was the safety net that Bob had at this point. Him drawing into his
Gideon is also
helps,
very good. So there's
because
a
he
grapple
actually
from the
gets
past.
to put some pressure. In the meantime, we have a
Grapple.
mold graph that entered
Moldgraf is in play, yeah, since last turn.
the other side, and the
And Grapple is resolving. So the Moldgraf Scavenger is just a 3-4. And there's the Gloom. Yep. So mills another card, has Delirium, and there's a 4-4 Hexproof Beater, ready to take down the Gideon. So, Bob in a very sticky situation here. Can make a blocker, but Gideon cannot survive, I think. I don't think there's a way.
Well, he can make a
Blocker,
make
block
a blocker
the 3/4.
and kill the 3/4. What I would, he can make a 2/2 knight
Yeah,
that, and then play removal on the other creature.
yeah, except the hand is lands.
Except what?
Except he doesn't have it.
And there we have the
There's a
Kalitas.
yeah, and still no answers. Yeah, so there's Gideon. Gideon dies. Bob's still at 20, but needs to find an answer real soon. Traitor of Cat. Yeah. So, Kalitas is a non-token creature, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So Frederik not gonna get a zombie when the knight inevitably dies.
Inevitably, do not underestimate the power of the knight. We have another vessel.
Yeah, another vessel gets to look even deeper for more threats. Finds, I think, 2 grapple from the past and a conifer strider, I think.
Managing to keep the cards nicely in the reflection of the lights.
So he takes Ishkana. There was an Ishkana among them as well. And so I think it was Moldcraft Scavenger, Ishkana, and Conifer Strider was the choice. So he goes for the legendary creature. Pretty good choice. Pretty good choice.
So coming in for 10 already.
Yeah. And gaining 3 in the process. Also not irrelevant.
I was just about to say, but that's pretty relevant at this point of the game.
So Duras seeing Pulse of Marasa, I think?
Yes.
Okay. So taking the Pulse of Marasa. And then 2 more lights and Bob scoops him up. And we go to game 3. So Frederik's Hexproof beaters were good enough against Bob's hand of 0 removal spells.
Where he mulliganed
into. Yeah. I'm not gonna say Bob just got screwed because he did keep. I'm logged in on the other computer, so that must be one of my floor judges who didn't realize we already answered that question.
Savage Haxor getting into your account. Kids these days.
It's not even my main.
Hoeveel later zijn jullie begonnen?
3 minuten. 3 minuten later. Niet 3 minuten. Okay. So players checking how much time they have available. So players checking how much time they have left available. They have 13 minutes left in the round. These have been pretty eventful games at this point. Frederik also has a busted sleeve, so losing some extra time with that. Not enough to get extra time awarded to them, however.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm back. There was an issue with the split sleeve. Frederik not realizing that he could just take one of the sleeves from his sideboard and put them on.
You'd be amazed how many times players just blank their minds when it comes to a challenge that's outside the game.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're trying to play on a high level, I can imagine that you're using a lot of brain power to stay in the game.
Highly overrated.
I know, I never do. I just play on curve and win.
No, we were talking about higher levels of play.
Oh, higher levels of play.
Yeah. Okay, and we're off to game 3 with a planes.
They both kept their opening 7, I think?
Yes.
Alright. So we might actually see
should have
a good game. Yeah. It does bother me a bit that Frederik has that one strange swamp in his deck with the writing on it from one of the original league drafts.
It's not the league draft. It was
Was
the first event where you could pay €5 to enter the event, and you were given a deck.
Okay.
It's from
Yeah.
way back then.
I remember that event because I was actually present here. That was, I think, the first time I met you even.
Yeah, that's possible.
So it's cool to see, but it just always irks me.
Yeah, it's one of Frederik's prized possessions at
I
this
know.
point.
And rightfully so. I mean,
So for the
He's
people
been-
who don't know what this is, the league is the playing group that we have here in the Outpost Kent store. That's very much erected at giving new and beginning players a chance to get into the game. And one of the first events, you could pay €5, get a pre-made deck made by myself, and enter in the tournament. And because it couldn't be sanctioned and we didn't have a laptop, I used basic lands with everybody's name to calculate pairings and note the results on. And at the end, everybody got their own basic land back. And I think I've seen a few trade folders that have their basic lands, and Frederik still has his, so it's nice to
it's
see.
pretty cool.
So the Duress took a magnifying glass.
And now the rest from the other side gets to take either another Duress, or Autumnal Gloom, or Grapple from the Past. So yeah, there's a lot of choices to be made here for Bob. Yeah, takes the Autumnal Gloom. Probably the correct choice, since he doesn't have a lot of ways in his deck to deal with a flipped Autumnal Gloom. Frederik cracks the vessel. Has to lose
The dark
both a pulse and a
Petition.
dark petition, which is slightly annoying, but gets either Deadweight or Tooth Collector.
I'm actually surprised to see Deadweight and Tooth Collector
Still in
the
there,
deck.
yeah. Maybe he just doesn't have enough cards to board in.
He had enough cards to board in.
Yeah.
Maybe he anticipates the transformational sideboard with the Token Freeblades, which
Yeah,
seems to be.
that is a good call. Not something I would have.
It's been in the sideboard of 3 different people that I know of already.
Freeblade?
Yeah, a 4
Yeah,
of
it's-
Token Freeblade.
That's probably a good choice, since the card is just so good. If it can be answered on turn 2 and you're on the play, it's just
But it
a
makes
lot
for
of value.
such a bad top deck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Still, sometimes you just need the early tempo.
Yeah. I think it's actually better against very aggressive decks where you just
Yeah.
need to have some board
Some
presence.
bodies. Yeah. Right, so the second Duress sees
We-
a Blast Alliance and an Nixilis.
We might squeeze in an interview at some point to talk to some of the better players
Yeah.
about their decks. To see, I'm interested to see what the idea behind it, the
Uh-huh.
tokens is. So we see Duress taking out an Obnixilis reignited.
So that's not a Planeswalker we'll be seeing against this game.
Yeah, Bob does not have any
Any
recursion
recursion at all.
available.
But he does have another Read the Bones, so gets to sculpt his hand even more. While Fletcher is still at 2 lands with no threats on the board. So next turn he's probably gonna crack the vessel, try and find another land. So that's very important because he's just losing out. He's just lagging so far behind right now. And there's another Transgress the Mind.
Frederik is only playing 23 lands, which I think is a bit light for.
For a deck like Delirium,
For
I
this deck.
agree. So Transgress the Mind took, I didn't see what it took. Oh, the Tooth Collector.
Tooth Collector. Yeah.
That's interesting. I assume Bob took it because he doesn't have any other threats in hand.
I think so because I don't like Tooth
Actually,
Collector
actually
either in
I
the
don't
deck.
think Frederik has any other legal target for Transgress the Mind in his hand.
Yeah, that's possible.
There's a nice foil swamp that goes to the graveyard and an
Autumnal Gloom.
Yeah. So, and there's the Transgress taking care of the Autumnal Gloom. Yeah, this is not going good for Frederik. Getting hammered at every turn. So, the draw was the X-proof thing. Yeah. And there's a grapple. So grapple sees Ishkana, but I don't think he can afford to not take a land here. Yeah, goes for the land.
But he has the recursion to get the Ishkana back later.
Yeah, that's true.
Go Frederik, HQ represent. What's HQ?
I don't know. It's his headquarters. I don't know.
Okay, Bunny STD or something else. Explain yourself. What's HQ? Making casters curious is a bad idea.
Yeah, they stop paying attention to games since Frederik deployed both a Narwhal Triad and a Moldgraf Scavenger. So Narwhal, that's a 3/3. Assuming he has Delirium. Yeah. And then the other one is a 3/4. Okay. The not quite at all as good Garmagoyf.
I remember when it was spoiled.
Yeah.
People were like, "Oh my God, we
It's
have a
Tarmogoyf."
common Tarmogoyf."
I mean, it's good in Gentry, at least.
Yeah. I mean, it's a 2-mana 0/4. That in itself
It's a
is
2-mana
probably
3/4.
Yeah.
Like a
no,
lot of
it's-
the time on turn 3, it's a 2-mana 3/4. The Vessel? The Vessel pretty reliably
if
hits.
you're lucky and you don't do anything before that, and then you can't attack with it, sure, it's a 3/4.
I mean, turn 1, you either Duress or Evolving Wilds, which is 1 card type, and then your Vessel puts 3 more card types in
The
the graveyard.
vessel costs 3.
Is it 3 to cast?
It's 1 to cast
Yeah,
and 2.
so
you play
turn,
it on
turn 2 you play the Moldgraf, turn 3 you activate the Vessel. In the meantime, the first Narwhal Triad has been stasis snared, and then the second one has been deployed. And also, a Moldgraf Scavenger has been reef-sold, and another one's been played.
So Frederik finally has enough mana to start getting on the board.
But Bob has been sculpting his hand for a while now, so he
Yeah.
probably has the answers. And he has...
He only has 2 cards in his
left
hand.
hand.
That's the big thing, mana flood versus mana screw. In the scenario where the flooded player doesn't immediately win,
Yeah.
it's usually the mana screwed player who comes out on top, because once you actually start drawing lands,
Yeah,
you are sitting there with a full
That's
full
true.
hand of cards.
that's true.
So an Angelic Purge takes out a Dryad.
I'm not quite sure why he took out a Dryad, rather than because it's only a 3/3, whereas the Moldgraf Scavenger is a 3/4. Alright, so there's a Autumnal Gloom, which is another big problem for Bob to deal with.
Yeah, I think he has the Blessed Alliance in his hand though.
Yeah, but the problem is there's still a 3/4, so
Oh yeah, it's on target, that's right.
it's just any attacking creature,
Yeah.
so
He needs to get rid of the Scavenger before...
yeah. But no, Frederik has Delirium, so I don't really...
Felidar Cup came in
it
from
turned
the
too late.
side.
Turn too late now.
Of course,
It
Felidar
kills the
Cup
Autumnal
is
Gloom.
an
Yeah.
answer to the glue. I hadn't thought about that. That's interesting.
You need it on the table when they play the Gloom, otherwise it's just gonna flip either way, but...
Sure, but it comes down a turn
yeah,
earlier.
it's good.
It forces removal,
Yeah.
or you can't play it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And in the meantime, it's a beater.
Yeah, it's a 2/2 body that can actually...
I wouldn't have thought of bringing that card in this matchup.
And that's because that's why you're casting and not playing.
So Frederik
There's another Narwhal Triad, so he's applying some nice pressure here.
actually getting into the game here, and Bob seems to have some issues finding the relevant cards
Yeah.
to get back.
Has Bob seen his descent upon the Sunfall this game? Or was
No,
that last game?
Not yet. That was last game where it was
It was,
discarded.
I wasn't sure whether it was the rest this game or last game. Alright, so that's a good out for Bob here. But...
Sure, but he's on a 2-turn clock.
Yeah, I know. So he
But he isn't. But
probably
he has
needs to
some chump
find-
blocks still.
probably needs to find a Read the Bones to find more cards. Since I don't think, apart from the Descent, there's any one card in Bob's deck that's gonna bring him back in the game here. Alright, there's a second Angelic Purge dealing with the Moldgraf Scavenger. Losing another land to do that. So now he's seeing 7 damage on the way.
He actually can kill the Death Toucher.
Yeah. But he has to treat both creatures for it.
Yeah.
I think that's still fine. That's still fine. So you take 4, go to 6. Frederik having another gloom in hand. Wow.
That's another gloom, right?
Yeah. That's really bad for Bob. So he pretty much needs to get to this end or lose the game. Or I guess a Blessed Alliance gives him a turn to find another one. Yeah, so Blessed Alliance actually gives him 2 more turns. So unless Frederik has another threat to deploy. Yeah, it's such a good card, Blessed Alliance. And there's a Conifer Strider. So that's really hard. So go to another card. Could it be another Blessed Alliance? It has to be.
Well, it's
a land.
It's
Okay.
a land, and it's
So
over.
that's the game.
Frederik wins.
2-1.
Okay, so we're gonna put